When Women Work is a fictional documentary which focuses on 5 separate women who are united by the oppressive working conditions in a munitions factory in South Australia in the 1940s. The opening credits begin with images of World War II, setting the theme of men being courageous and heroic in performing their duty to protect their country. The credits continue to depict life back at home in Australia as struggling through the labour shortage crisis. Furthermore, images appear reinforcing the sense of duty and responsibility for women to step up and help the country out by going to work. This sets the scene for each of the characters. The film then breaks into a separate backstory of each of the women. The audience is able to empathise with each of their struggles. The main character is a well-to-do English immigrant who is forced to start work when she receives notice that her husband has died in the conflict. She is central to the film's progression as she takes it upon herself to stand up to the male staff who are intimidating and harassing the new female staff. With their new sense of camaraderie, the women are able to negotiate for better working conditions for all of the staff. The women who initially are not friends become bonded by succeeding in such difficult work and personal life circumstances, raising children, learning English, and with their husbands away at war. This is an uplifting story about women rising to any challenge. Cinematography techniques, such as evident throughout the film, as parts of the film are to be shot in black and white as a visual motif for flashbacks within the film. For example, during the opening credits when setting the scene for going to war, as well as later when the characters are experiencing flashbacks or remembering something that hadn't actually been filmed. The majority of the black and white filming should consist of long shots so as to contribute to audience's sense of disconnection. Medium shots will be utilised for emotionally neutral scenes within the film, and throughout the majority of the camera work will be close-up shots so that the audience may empathise with the characters' emotions. The main location is an ammunitions factory in Salisbury in South Australia. The sets for the factory would feature a typical combination of red and red-brown brick that was local to the area. These were photographs from Block A and F at QUT's Garden Point campus. Other important buildings such as the bank would appear to be solid limestone, which was commonplace throughout South Australian coastline at the time. We used filming in the U Block courtyard to entrance and outside of the government house to represent this. Due to the war and the subsequent labour shortage, Australian house designs did not evolve extensively until the 1950s. So when considering characters' circumstantial and financial situations, their typical homes would be styled in the older Art Deco style rather than the emerging style of modern. As Heather is a wealthier character, she would live in a Federation-style home, featuring high-pitched terracotta-tiled roof, dark red and or brown brick blockwork that was local to the area. Timber feature ornamentation such as decorative gables and fretwork. Other characters would live in more in the more common-style bungalow home with lower ceilings and less ornamentation. Houses were orientated for the best use of the sun. Generally, they were smaller in size than the modern homes with minimal hallways and efficient layouts. To promote the emotional tone of the film, the room should always appear cold, stark, lonely, and slightly uninviting. This would be achieved through the use of dimly lit wall sconces, a fire and blankets, but no cushions in the lounge areas. Utilising a dark-stained hardwood timber floor so as to project the sound of an echoing room, homes should be neat and uncluttered with furniture from the previous era, which is solid dark timber pieces, early Art Deco style with geometric designs and patterns throughout. In contrast though, Heather's home would reflect her wealth and her ability to keep her home modern. The interior style would focus on warmth and comfort rather than opulence, featuring a simple and uncluttered interior with rich and vibrant colours such as red and green, with prominent floral patterns throughout the wallpapers and plenty of soft furnishing such as cushions, tea sets and cooking crockery on display. Her kitchen would feature white cabinetry and the home would be carpeted throughout.
When Women Work displays the importance of the reciprocal relationship between set design and lighting in order to capture the World War II aesthetic and atmosphere. By utilising the same lighting effects from 1940 cinematography such as incandescent lighting and natural lighting, it illuminates the set and actors. The primary function of the set is to provide the audience with an understanding of the gruelling working conditions that women in munitions factories were stationed in and the consequences it led to in their own private homes.
The location selected to film When Women Work was the old government house located at QUT Gardens Point, adjacent to the Botanical Gardens. The house was contracted between 1860 and 1862 in the Victorian era by Queensland's first colonial architect Charles Tiffin. It was the private residence and official state office for governors until 1910. As the house is orientated to face the southern eastway, its central courtyard is able to capture the sun's orientation and carries out natural light throughout the house, which is why this location was chosen. It also captures warmth in the winter and coolness in the summer. The squared floor plan allows cross-ventilation to flow sufficiently, which works with the tropical building standards of louvers, high ceilings, wraparound veranda, and balconies. While this vital part of Queensland built heritage lives on today, the architectural era of Georgian style from 1740 to 1830 can be seen in the traits of the building through its columns, interior detail, and rectangular windows and grand scale.
The costuming for the documentary will be influenced by 1940s fashion design, which was shaped by the effects of World War II. The costumes will reflect the restrictions on fabrics and clothing availability during the war. The typical silhouette of the 1940s was the female version of a male suit and was crisply tailored, featuring a boxy square shoulder line and a form-fitting skirt. The utility suit and tailored shirt dress are examples of costuming that will be mainly used for everyday wear. Fabrics will include durable, hard-wearing textiles such as denim and tweed to create a sturdy appearance, while everyday wear will be made of light and simple fabrics such as rayon crepe to reflect the material restrictions. As women had to work mainly in an industrial environment, the use of headscarves to keep their hair safely out of the way was put into practice and became part of the 1940s style. As women were at work, this sparked the manufacturing of utility wear, which was hard-wearing, practical clothing. For the film, the characters will sport headscarves and utility jumpsuits or loose pants and blouses for the factory work. Improvisation was required during the war for women to create an attractive, respectable appearance, and was also used to drive morale during the hard times. A clear complexion, bright lips, and accentuated eyes, a feminine hairstyle combined with the practical headwear all became popular to make up for the restriction on clothing designs during the war period. The main look for the characters' makeup will be bright red lipstick in order to contrast with the practicality of the costuming.